lovers. I am so blessed and honored to be in a position to share, tools and tips and tricks that have the potential to heal and to bring you to a place of full sexual embodiment. And one of the tools that I absolutely love and have been using for the better part of a decade are crystal yoni products, including pleasure wands and yoni eggs. And I was so excited to recently come across a brand called Wands, Wands. I met the founder here in Austin and I absolutely loved who she was. I love getting to know the people behind the products that I like to use. And I just loved her mission to really support women and men to explore, celebrate, and honor their sexuality. I felt this transmission of slow, sensual seduction in all of who she was and all that she brought to the world. So I went ahead and gave it a try. I purchased a blue quartz Emerita wand, and the Emerita wand is great because it has this like cool bulby end on it, which is designed for G-spot and cervical stimulation, but can also be used for prostate stimulation. So it's great for men and women and can even be used between partners. So I'm so honored to have built this relationship with her and to be able to offer you guys an amazing discount code. So if you use the code Leola, Leola, that will give you 15% off all products. And the website is wands.com, WAANDS.com. And we'll go ahead and link that in the show notes as well for you. So thank you so much for listening. And also you're welcome for the inevitable pleasure and healing and ecstasy that is coming your way with these products. Let's dive into the episode. Welcome to Talk Tantra to me. It is such an honor to be holding space for this divine knowledge to make its way into your ears and lifestyle. Today, I'm going to be sharing a part of my personal life and transition that has been really impactful for me this year. And one of the things that I love about this season of life that is such a mirror for living a tantric lifestyle is that Tantra itself, the word Tantra, Tan means to expand, Tra means to liberate. This is the Sanskrit pure definition. That definition of expansion and liberation is really going to manifest differently from person to person and even for the same person in different seasons of their lives. And as we, become more and more in alignment with our higher self, some of the actions and ways of being and lifestyle components that support us to be in expansion and liberation evolve as well. And I've had some really big breakthroughs in that evolution in this year of my life where there is so much transition and expansion and creating a belief plan and a lifestyle and relationships that really support that. So this all kind of started as I redefined my relationship to prosperity and abundance. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys. This is not something that I do on normal episodes, and no worries if you are listening in, because I'll be reading pretty much everything on the slides anyways. But abundance and prosperity, right? What does that mean? So in the spring, I had a lot of abundance in my life, and it was overwhelming and beautiful. I had finally received so many things that I had been manifesting for years. And that's the thing that we focus on a lot, right? We're focusing a lot on manifesting abundance. I think that that's like the number one thing that we tend to want to manifest is abundance. And so I was making more money than I'd ever made. And I was in this abundance of love in my partnership. I had this partner. I was spending all of my time with Andrew, my fiance. It's an abundance of love and connection that I never had before and was absolutely loving. I had this abundance of community. I was involved in, different containers and was hosting a lot of my own containers, retreats, parties, abundance of friendships for the first time in my life. Like, it's like, oh my God, I'm overwhelmed by the amount of social, obligations that I was being invited to and offered. And it was like so much gratitude and appreciation for that. And at the same time, I had this moment where I sat down at my dining room table in tears as I like slowly stirred this cup of coffee and looked out my window and was watching these birds eat from the bird feeder. And that simple action was something that I realized I had taken for granted for years, because there were years where I felt so in scarcity of money and so in scarcity of love and so in scarcity of community and connection and friendship and opportunity. And now here I am with all of this opportunity, all of these business ideas coming through that I don't have time for, all of these invitations that I cannot possibly say yes to, all of this connection with my fiance that it's almost like I need more spaciousness, right? And recognizing, wow, I manifested abundance. I manifested abundance. I have an abundance of things, of connection, of love, of opportunities. And it feels like a golden cage. And honestly, all I want to do right now is sit down and read my book and cuddle with my dog and look at the bird out the window and drink my coffee slowly with so much spaciousness. Right. And that's where I started to realize that I actually don't want abundance. What does abundance mean? Right? What does that actually mean? Abundance, if you look up the dictionary definition, it's a very large quantity of something. An abundance. It's just a lot. It's a lot of things. And that's what I got. I got a lot of things. And I realized I don't want all this. I really don't. It's lovely. I'm really grateful. I appreciate it. And why has abundance been the thing that I've been manifesting? Why have I allowed that to be the North Star? And I think there's something to be said for living in a culture where it's really encouraged and societally acceptable to create all of these things that at the foundation actually take us away from what's happening inside of us. We distract ourselves from our inner world in work. We distract ourselves from our inner world in the drama of relationships. We distract ourselves from our inner world in our social lives and, going out and doing all of these things. And at the end of the day, if we're not using these tools, these gifts of the universe consciously, and also in balance for what is true and right for our expansion and liberation, it can actually be contracting, and it can create scarcity for us. And so what I realized is like, I don't need or want all of this abundance. I want the right amount of things in my life. I want to feel like I can hold all of the opportunities coming to me and all of the love coming to me. And I want to feel free in it. I don't want to feel like all of this is this obligation. It gets to be yummy, right? I get to feel regulated in my nervous system as this comes in. And so that's when, around the same time, I was guest teaching in my friend Jolie's program called Dare to Prosper. And she's going to be on the podcast in a few weeks, most likely. And I really started to look at, well, what does prosperity mean? Because that could be a North Star for me that I go for, and that could feel in alignment for me. And so when I looked at the definition of prosperity, it said the state of being prosperous. And I thought, great. Okay, let's go a little deeper. What is prosperous? And then I saw this definition of flourishing and thriving and bringing wealth and success. And what does wealth mean? Well, wealth to me means so much more than financial wealth. It's like the wealth of overflowing in joy and health and connection, but feeling really like, again, thriving in it and regulated. And I thought, oh, okay, like prosperity. Yes, that's it. That's my North Star. They say you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And this is something that I really, really resonate with. And as I've invested in living a tantric lifestyle, my relationships have evolved and become so much more juicy and liberating. And I believe that this is something that everyone deserves. However, finding these people can be a little bit challenging at first. And so it is my mission to create more spaces for people to find individuals that are resonant with the tantric lifestyle, that are really resonant with you, the listener, the person who is investing their time into living a life that is expansive and liberating. So with that, I'm committed to creating more and more safe spaces for people to discover their desires and practice their boundaries, to connect in community, to celebrate and to grow together so that we can all step into a more authentic version of ourselves and experience truly unconditional love. So we have Tantra retreats for men, women, couples, singles. We also have female-only retreats, just for the ladies stepping into their divine feminine. We have play parties. We have Tantra workshops, Tantra yoga, women's circles. We've got all kinds of really powerful in-person events. You can find all the details at www.talktantratome.com/events. You can also just go to talktantratome.com and click the events tab to find out about all the latest and the greatest. And if you're wanting me all to yourself, I can't blame you. I also host private retreats for both individuals and couples. Those are one-on-one. You get me all to yourself. And I'm available for private Tantra workshops and performances. And this is great for events like your birthday, or maybe a bachelorette party or bachelor weekend. We can talk and create something that will be extra special just for you. So I cannot wait to connect with you in real life. But for now, thanks so much for your patience with this brief interruption, and let's get back to the episode. And so what ended up happening is, over the last, 4, 5, 6 months, I've been reformatting my life to create a path to prosperity. And I can honestly, and in such celebration, say that I am so proud of the prosperity, the peace, and the pleasure I have created by following my bliss. So the question for you is, what is your definition of prosperity? And are your actions in alignment with this prosperity? Are you getting what you actually want out of life? Are you regulated to receive the gifts that the universe is giving you? Or are you in a space more similar to where I was a few years ago, really craving abundance and connection and love and all the things, and just like wanting to be a magnet for it? And I would invite you to get curious as to, is that what you really want? Is it the abundance that you really want? Or is there a greater vision for yourself and your future that is more in alignment with what your soul actually deeply craves, your deeper desire? So with this is something that I've been, working on for the last few months. And to me, a lot of it is like doing less to be more. And so a lot of my process in these past few months has been letting go of things, and then also getting really clear on what is actually really lighting me up. Where is that pleasure? And how can I lean into it? I think that like this hedonistic concept of pleasure can feel, it can repel some people because, it's not all about pleasure. Yes, and pleasure can be such a roadmap for your deepest desire. Pleasure is an indication. It's like a map sign. It's like a little asterisk of like, oh, look a little deeper here. So a lot of my process lately has been less worrying, like letting go of stress, choosing to really get curious about, why am I letting myself be stressed about saying yes or no to this invitation? Why am I letting myself get all stressed about doing everything in my business and wanting to create everything? What if I just focused on the things that were really bringing me joy and creating impact? It's less taking clients that don't feel totally in alignment, that aren't my soulmate. It's really leaning into what lights me up now and going all in on that, giving myself permission to transition. Around this time, I also saw this analogy, and it actually had to do with health. And it talked about this like rain bucket. And I'm going to see if I can say this succinctly. But the idea was that so often we're eating all this junk food, right? And we don't notice any adverse effects. We're eating all this junk food until we get to a certain point. And then when we're at that certain point of eating so much junk food, then it starts to be this overflow and you start to notice all the symptoms, but you don't notice it for so long. And it's the same with our busyness that we create and the abundance that we create, right? We have all this stuff going on and we're managing and we're managing and we're managing. But once that bucket gets full of water, once that bucket gets full of all the stressors, everything starts to fall apart and we just suddenly have all of this overflow. And so I noticed for myself that I kept getting really close to full and then scooping out like 1 or 2 cups, but it wasn't sustainable long-term. I really needed to create a different structure entirely. I needed to create a whole irrigation system to handle the abundance. And I needed to release some things and let go of some things. And so that's really been my path to prosperity, which I will share the keynotes for here. So the path to prosperity is 7 C's. We have clarity, cultivate, clearing, community, create, confidence, and calibration. And this is something that I will be going into depth on in a new program, a new membership community that I am creating called the Higher Love Club. So the Higher Love Club is really a membership for your soul. It is a home for community, connection, and expansion. It is brand new. And every month in this program, in this community, in this membership, we are going to be diving deep on a theme. And the theme for the month of August, this month, is prosperity and pleasure. So I've just given you the roadmap, the zoomed out Google Maps. Here are the steps: clarity, cultivate, clearing, community, create, confidence, calibration. But in this membership, we're going to be going deep into what each of these things mean so that you can create your own path to prosperity that is uniquely you. And as soon as you sign up for the community, you will receive access to a video workshop that really gives you this entire framework and the tools that I've used to find this prosperity for myself, to find this prosperity in my relationship to my purpose, in relationship to my partner, in relationship to my friendships and my social life. So each month you're going to be getting a video workshop. This month, it's going to be all about prosperity and pleasure. And then included in this membership, you'll also get one live group mastermind coaching call. So this is a really great opportunity to connect with other people that are equally dedicated to this lifestyle. To me, having the proximity to community and people that are on the same wavelength is such an important piece of creating prosperity and also creating sustainable growth, expansion, and love in your life. And so that's why community is on here as one of the foundation pieces. You'll also be receiving a workbook. So again, as soon as you sign up for the Higher Love Club, you'll get this workbook all about pleasure and prosperity. And it also includes prompts and pleasure practices, self-pleasure practices. It will sometimes include art therapy. This month, it definitely will have an art therapy component. And the best part is that you get all of this every month. So every month you'll be getting a video lesson workshop, a group live call, coaching call, mastermind, and a workbook that includes prompts, pleasure practices, art therapy, a bunch of amazing content just in this book. And what's even more amazing is no matter when you sign up, you get access to past workshops and resources from within the vault. So even if you are listening to this and it's this episode and it's no longer August 2024, let's say it's December or something, then in December, you'll get all of the August content, all of September, all of October, all of November, and you'll get to join in fresh for the December workshops. And if you head to the Higher Love Club website, which I'll have linked in the show notes, you can see what the upcoming themes are and what to look forward to. So no matter when you listen to this, you'll get access to this pleasure and prosperity workshop, workbook, course, all the things, plus a bunch more workshops and live community calls. So it really is just this incredible value that I am so excited to share. And I also want to say that this is the most accessible way to work with me too. So for founding members, we have a very special price. So check that out if you're joining here in August. Otherwise, the price we intend to always have very, very accessible for you. Below $100 a month. Right now, it's below $50 a month. And the sooner you get into this, the better the pricing you're going to have. Because as people join later and later, the value increases as we add more and more content to the vault. So right now, for those of you that are founding, it is the lowest price it will ever be. And it will only be this price for a limited time. So definitely jump in if you're interested in this. And again, the value is just going to keep on increasing, which is super duper exciting. So I want to tell you a little bit more about the Higher Love Club itself and the intentions of this. So the Higher Love Club is really this place to connect with each other and explore the sacred intersection between the spiritual world and the earthly realms. And we're going to be cultivating purposeful connections that transcend the ordinary. So it's my belief that within each of us lies this potential to become extraordinary and to experience love that is literally out of this world and connects you to a higher, more profound aspect of your existence. And it's my belief that it's through this connection that we really find that deep fulfillment and we heal and we have this unification, this oneness. This is a community that's really empowering you to trust yourself, to see yourself as your own guru, to take, the lessons and the experience of myself and others in the community and to, adapt what fits you. But we're really encouraging you to find the tools that work for you and run with them and leave everything else, to really trust yourself and see yourself as your own authority in what higher love means to you. We're also encouraging you to surrender to the flow of life and allowing love and divine guidance to lead you through teachings and practices and transformative experiences. In our group coaching calls, I'm going to be sharing tools that are usually only reserved for my one-on-one clients or reserved for my in-person retreats and play parties. So you're going to be getting really, really powerful practices and being able to practice them with other people, again, that are seekers and explorers and dreamers who are in a similar place as you. And yeah, to me, community is just such a big, big, important part of all of this. So would love, love, love to see you in this community. Again, I'm just lit up by this work, and I'm really, really excited to be offering it in such an accessible way, and am so looking forward to connecting with you within this space. So I'll put the link in the show notes, but thank you so much for opening yourself up to the idea of sacred sexuality and following your bliss and, prosperity and abundance. And I'll catch you next week on Talk Tantra to me. Ta-ta.